I've been helping some of my clients and other chiropractors get more Google reviews recently, and so I want to share some 4 quick, easy ways to get more Google reviews in your chiropractic practice. So let's go ahead and jump in. So a quick intro. My name's Gavin. I'm with Central Health Supply, and we help chiropractors grow their practice. And so this channel is basically for sharing the best tips and tricks and practices for growing practices that we're seeing with clients of the chiropractors. We try to make sure that all of our services and whatever we do in this company gives you a positive ROI. And so candidly, our goal with this content is that we give you stuff for free, right? And you see some success and a positive ROI from it. And then you use that, the return success and money that you saw from the videos to then hire us to get even more success and, money and positive ROI and all the other good stuff. And so with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into the 4 methods I've seen work really well, and as well as why you should do this. And so obviously, I think a lot of chiropractors know that, like, oh yes, I should get more Google reviews, but they don't know quite exactly why or what kind of a difference it can make in their business, especially getting ones consistently. And so I think a lot of chiropractors will do either stuff like they'll go every 3 to 6 months or a year, or just whenever they think of it, and they'll be like, all right, we're going to get a bunch of reviews right now. But what I've seen actually works better is getting reviews consistently, like just 1 per week even. And so one test that I ran with some of my clients was just 1 review per week and increased profile views, so the overall amount of people seeing your Google business profile, by 50%, and increase the chiropractor specific views by 100%. And so what that means, people looking up stuff like chiropractor near me, chiropractor, your city, your town, by 100%. And so, it can make a big difference doing it consistently. And so we ran this test for a little bit, and then we kind of stopped just to see what kind of a difference it would make, and the results that we saw immediately went back down to baseline. And so just doing things consistently works a lot better for Google, and it works better, I think, for 2 ways, or 2 reasons. And one reason is that Google likes to see that you're active and continuously still in business and all this other stuff, and people that are using Google also like to see that. And so I've seen some statistics, and I've mentioned them earlier on the channel and other videos, but 70 to 80% of people thought that older reviews weren't relevant to whatever it is they were looking at. And so most people defined older reviews as anywhere from 2 weeks to 2 months. I think it was about 50% defined older reviews as reviews older than 2 weeks. And so basically what that means is if you aren't getting reviews consistently, at least once every 2 weeks, people will think that all the other reviews aren't relevant, essentially. And so we want to make sure that we are getting consistent reviews so that people can see that we have, new reviews every single week or however often. So they're like, okay, these people are consistently getting good reviews, right? These reviews are relevant. This makes sense to go and to listen to these reviews, essentially, to then, make sure it makes sense to go into the practice. And so we want to make sure we're doing this consistently. And another test I ran with the clients was, instead of getting 1 review per week, we were going to get 2 to 3 to up to 5. And so here's what happened during that period of time was we got 50% more interactions. And so these aren't people looking at the profile. These are people who are actually interacting with it. And so what that means is clicking on the profile, calling, clicking over the website, going to try and get directions to the practice, right? These are people who are basically intending on becoming patients or otherwise coming in for an appointment, right? And that increased by 50% over the 2 months that we did this. Pretty big change. Now, we did do some other things during this period of time, like we sent emails out and texts to the list, but most of this was just from getting up to 5 reviews per week. It can just make a really big difference. And so if you weren't sold on getting more Google reviews or why you should do that, hopefully now you are. And so let's go ahead and jump into the 4 easy ways to get more reviews. So method number 1 is what I call the review board. I've made a whole video on this one. I'll link to it in the top right corner. It was actually the first video on this channel, but basically it's a chalkboard, and just a magnetic chalkboard that you hand write a message on there and stick a QR code up on there leading to your review link to have people leave your review. I will note it must be handwritten though. I've tested a lot of different printed pieces of paper, printed poster boards, that kind of stuff. They just don't work very well. They work well for about 1 to 2 weeks, and then after that, people just start ignoring them. I think there are probably various different reasons that the poster boards don't work as well, but basically the handwritten stuff just works better. And so they've done actually some psychology studies on this. And whenever someone takes the time to go ahead and write something handwritten, and then basically takes more time and effort, something that visibly takes more time and effort to do something, it increases what's called compliance in the psychology studies. It basically means people are more likely to do what you ask them to do. And so in this one, right? People are more likely to leave us a review if we do something that is handwritten, so that they can see that we took the time and effort to actually, go ahead and ask them with this. And that's kind of the same with all these other ones, is that almost all of them, the more effort and time we take to ask people for a review, the more likely they are to do that. The other good thing about this is you can also bring more attention to it by just like pointing at it and say, hey, could you leave me a review if you had a good experience here or something like that, or whatever. And so either way, it'll help you to get more reviews. Number 2 is a massage raffle. And so basically what you do is you just raffle off a massage once per month for people who leave a review. Now I will say, obviously this isn't legal advice, but obviously make sure to check your local laws and do it legally and everything. But what you do is just have people leave you a review and then have them, I would recommend having them email or text you proof of their review. That way you can just go ahead and easily kind of tally it all up and make it easier for you to raffle it off. And then you can combine it with the chalkboard for more attention for longer. And so even if you just do like a printed piece of paper and stick it up on the waiting area, that can work pretty well. I've seen with clients, what tends to happen though is after like 1 to 2 months, people just kind of blends in the background. So that's where you use the chalkboard again for more attention, because the chalkboard just works longer. And so that's where we combine this with the chalkboard to get it working longer than about 1 to 2 months that this would work with just a printed piece of paper. The chalkboard by itself, from what I've seen or tested with clients, it usually gets about 1 review per week on average, and the massage raffle can get anywhere from like 2 to 5 reviews per week on average. And again, combining with the chalkboard will probably make it increase the longevity of this thing. Number 3 is free merch. And so basically you just want to go ahead and give away free merch in exchange for a review. I will say, make sure they're actually good. Like, you don't want to give away some kind of itchy, terrible shell cotton t-shirt that's really poorly made and has a poor design on it and stuff like that. Take the time to either work with some graphic designer on like Fiverr, or I don't know, you might even be able to do AI stuff now, but I just go ahead and say to make sure the design is good and everything, and the quality of the shirt is good, or water bottle or hat or whatever it is you're doing, right? And there are a bunch of different companies. I'm sure you can just look up like print on demand or something like that for for getting this kind of merch. But anyway, once you have a good design that people actually want, you can go ahead and make sure to mention that these are the only way to get these merch is to actually leave you a review. And so, again, I would just have people send you proof. It'd make it easy for you to verify everything and then tally it all up. And you can ask for multiple reviews on different platforms as well for something like this. You probably do it with the massage raffle as well. But you could ask for something like Google, Facebook, and say Yelp, right, to have people leave you a review on all 3 in order for them to get the free merch or be entered in the massage raffle or whatever, right? I will say, again, not legal advice, but go ahead and check local laws just to make sure giving away free stuff and healthcare isn't going to run into any problems. But method number 4 is just a plain old email. And so personal emails usually work the best, which is basically you actually taking the time to send them an email personally, like from your email to their email, as opposed to using an autoresponder or a CRM or anything like that. But the CRM, autoresponder emails, mass emails can work pretty well as well. The email template that I've tested with clients that works really well is, hey, first name, could you do us a favor? We're trying to get to review goal, and then this is your goal of what reviews you're trying to get to on Google. Could you leave us a review? It takes 30 seconds, and then here's the link. And again, just go ahead and link this up with the link to leave you a review. And we really appreciate your help. Thanks. And then, your sign off of like, here's your name and everything like that. I will say, whenever you do the review goal, make sure it's not going to be something that's like insanely far out, because you want to make sure it's something that's small enough that they can see that they're making a difference. And so if you say that, hey, we're at 0 reviews, we're trying to get to 300. If someone looks at that and like 1 out of 300, my review will make a 1 out of 300 difference, right? That's not going to make a very big difference, right? That doesn't matter, and they won't do it. Whereas if you do something like, hey, we're at 0 reviews, we're trying to get to 20 or 25, right? They can see, oh, 1 out of 20 or 25, right? My review will make a difference, and so I will go ahead and do it. And so you want to make sure you have kind of a reasonable review goal so that people, whenever they click over there, they're not going to get discouraged by thinking that their review won't make a difference. So those are the 4 methods that work really well that I've seen with clients and other chiropractors to get more reviews in your practice. And so I've got a quick pitch for you here, which is that we help chiropractors grow their practice with online stuff like this. And so if you want a free marketing and growth plan tailored to your practice, you can check out the link at the top of the description below, and you just go ahead and enter your info in the form, book a time for a call, and we will go ahead and build a free, like I said, marketing and growth plan tailored to your practice, so you can know what to do with exact, like specific strategies and stuff that are working for other chiropractors that have already been tested, and know what to do for your practice. So there's my quick pitch for you. Either way, I hope this was helpful, and I'll talk to you soon.